Hello everyone, it's Amanda here from Calmer Thoughts with my Calmer Thought of the day for Friday. So happy Friday everybody, the end of the week. Another week of lockdown done. So today's thought is about taking a different perspective on life. And this came to me today because I went for my usual dawn walk, which isn't as early anymore because it's at dawn's at 7:38 this morning. So I've said this before, sometimes it doesn't seem quite so special and surreal when you're going a little bit later in the morning, but I went on my walk and I decided, because I'm also taking a few days off, that I had more time. I didn't have to rush back to be back and done for 9 o'clock. So I added a little dog leg onto my my walk. I knew there was a little route that shot off somewhere and I thought I knew where it came back onto my route. I thought I could add another little twiddle onto my walk and make it a little bit longer. And when I came back onto my familiar route, because I'd come in at a different angle, first of all I was thinking, I know exactly, oh, this is right, this is where I thought it was going to come out, I know where I am. And then I came out onto the road and I was only approaching it from a 90-degree different angle to how I normally would be, but I couldn't work out where I was. Suddenly I didn't know which way to turn once I got there, and I turned a certain direction and thought, well, that's going backwards on myself. Turned another way, and then suddenly it was like, oh, I know where I am now. I can really see this route. It just didn't make sense to me. And it made me think that sometimes we need to have a different perspective on things. Sometimes we can be so used to seeing a problem from the way we look at it, we can't see any other way out. We can't see it almost with fresh eyes or from a different angle. And it almost, I really felt lost at one point. Momentarily, for a few seconds, I really could not work out where I was, although I knew exactly where I was. And almost by turning myself around again and approaching it from my usual direction, it's like, oh, there I am. And it made me feel comfortable and safe again. And there's two ways of looking at this. These trying to think of it is, sometimes we need a new perspective. We need to see things from a different angle and a different viewpoint. So taking a step back, approaching it in a different way. Also, imagine if your problem, whatever your problem is, if your friend told you this problem and it was their problem, not yours, and you were hearing it with fresh ears and a different viewpoint, imagine what advice you would give that person. We often can see it from a completely different angle. If it was someone else's problem, we'd be going, oh, I completely get that. Have you thought about doing this? Or it's not as bad as you think, and you've got this going for you, and those are positives. But when it's our problem, we see it completely differently. So just really taking a step back and looking at things with fresh eyes, a different angle, a new perspective. Coming upon things in a different way. We all have a map of the world. We all have our own map of the world. You can have twins born into the same family, being brought up, practically identically, same experiences, but their experiences actually will be different. They'll have met different people. They'll have experienced things slightly differently. So even those two identical twins living and growing up in the same family, it's like brothers and sisters as well, they have a different view of the world. They'll have met slightly different people. They'll have had different conversations with people. They'll have learnt different things at different times. So we all have our own unique map of the world. And that's why sometimes it's hard when somebody tells us something, we see it through our eyes and we see a version of events through our eyes. And we like to think we could step into that person's shoes and see it through their eyes, but we don't. We only ever really see it through our own eyes, and it's an accumulation of all our experiences, all of our knowledge, everything that's ever happened to us makes us see the world at a certain viewpoint. And we can all have seen, another example of this is if there's a road traffic accident and there's several people who've seen it, the police will take different statements from all the people that have seen the accident, and everyone will have seen a slightly different version of that accident. Some people have seen the accident head on, some people from the side, some people have been involved in the accident and have seen it through their own eyes. Every single story will be slightly different because they saw something slightly differently to the other people, and that's how it is in life. We all have a different version of events. We see things very differently to everybody else. But my main message for today is to step back sometimes and look at things with a fresh with fresh eyes from a new perspective. Take a different route sometimes. Approach it from a different angle, and maybe you might come up with a new solution. Another thing is tell someone about it. Goes back, my little theme running through this week really is talk to somebody. When you tell it to somebody, they can see it through their eyes. It won't be your view of it. It won't be your map of the world. It'll be their map of the world, how they see the issue that you're talking about. But they could come up with solutions and suggestions that you've never thought about because you've almost got so blind to it. It's like when you get so used to your house and decorations and wallpaper, you know, eventually you don't even see the wallpaper anymore. You're so used to it, it becomes just every day. Sometimes we need someone to have a different look at it, a different approach, to give us a different perspective. So that's my message of the day, and it just came to me as I was practically finishing my walk and got momentarily, for a few minutes, completely and utterly lost on a route that I do all the time, just because I approached it from a different angle and then I saw it completely differently. So have a think about that. Different perspective, new angles, and maybe talking to somebody, a friend, a family member, or someone like me, someone completely unrelated, completely standing back from the whole situation, can see it from a different perspective for you. So I will see you tomorrow. Have a good rest of your Friday. Looking forward to the weekend, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care until then. Bye bye.